if you haven't already noticed, we've had snow. We had quite a lot of snowfall during the night. Already it is starting to melt, but I have to say it does look rather seasonal, don't you think? Looking out of the window right now. We are back together. Oh my, I can't believe we're here again. These weeks are really flying by. It is, of course, English Addict coming to you live and direct from the birthplace of the English language. You know where it is. I know where it is. We all know where it is. It is, of course, England. We are back together again. It's so nice to see you here once more. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy today? Do you have one of these on your face? How has this year been so far? Already, it is the 5th of January. The year seems to be flying by. It'll soon be Christmas again. Talking of which, you may notice today I have removed all of the Christmas decorations in the studio. We have returned back to normal, unfortunately. But don't worry, there will be lots of fun and excitement coming right here on the live stream, not only today, but also during the whole of 2025. Talking of which, have you got the year wrong so far? Maybe if you were writing something down on a piece of paper, maybe you were signing a cheque, and perhaps you put the wrong year. This is something a lot of people do, especially during the first couple of weeks when a new year has arrived. A lot of people will put the wrong year. Fortunately, so far, I haven't made any mistakes. It is definitely 2025, and I hope you have one of these on your face today. Happy New Year. Just in case I haven't said Happy New Year to you yet. Maybe you were not watching last week. All I can say is it has been a very busy period of time. Certainly since last September, I have been so busy. I can tell you now, even during Christmas, I haven't really had a break because I've been busy doing lots of things connected to this. So even when it seems as if I'm having a break, I'm not. Normally, I'm in the studio doing something connected to the lighting or the scenery, or maybe I'm preparing something, or of course, maybe perhaps I'm making a new lesson. Did you see my new lesson? I posted one on Friday. There is a new lesson on my YouTube channel for you to watch. So if you want to catch all of my lessons, especially my new lessons, all I can say is I suggest that you subscribe to this. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you will not miss anything. And don't forget, also turn on those notifications as well, so you will be told when all of my new things arrive, including my live streams, of course. We've had snow. A lot of people over the past couple of days here in the UK have been rather nervous because we have had many weather warnings telling us that the snow is coming and there will be a lot of it. However, here we haven't had that much snow. I'm going to be honest with you. We've only had some snow, not a lot of snow. So I would say that we haven't had as much snow as I thought we were going to get. However, it does look rather nice, doesn't it? I love looking out of the window. I'm not sure if I enjoy being out in the cold weather. As you know, I do not like being cold in any way. If I had a choice between being in a hot place and a cold place, I would definitely always choose the hot place, if I was honest with you. However, don't get me wrong, I do love snow. I love watching it fall. I love going out in the snow for a short period of time. And it is a rather nice thing to see as well. I am with you today, 2 hours. What? Mr. Duncan, you are here for 2 hours today? Is it just you? No, it's not just me. There is someone else here as well. We also have another person joining us on the live stream. Yes, it is him. It is the man. He is coming up later on. We have Mr. Steve coming up later on. He is at the moment preparing himself for today's mission, which is to assist me with my live stream. We have a lot of things to talk about today. By the way, Steve will be here at 2:30. 2:30. So for the next 20 minutes, unfortunately, you have to put up with me. It's only me until 2:30. And then after that, it is Mr. Steve. He will be with us as well. A lot of things to talk about. Do you believe in astrology? I've been watching some very interesting videos on YouTube about psychics, astrology, and all of those weird and wonderful things that some people believe in whilst others do not. What about astrology? A lot of people, when they wake up in the morning, one of the first things they might do is look at their horoscope. The horoscope is a thing that somehow can predict all of the events that will happen to you today and also maybe perhaps in the future as well, just by mapping the stars in the sky and all of the positions that they are in. Of course, also, it depends on when you are born as well. So each person has a special star sign. Generally, it is known as astrology. A lot of people don't believe in it, including me. I would say that I don't believe in astrology. However, it is sometimes fun to look at your horoscope. Even though I don't believe in it, but I still find it interesting, just in case there is some tall, dark stranger heading towards me to sweep me off my feet again. Also today, what else are we talking about today? We are talking about some interesting words connected to want, need, and have. 3 very clear and well-defined words: to want something, to need something, to have something. We will be looking at that later on as well. One thing I didn't mention, can I just mention this very quickly? We did not talk about our Christmas gifts. The things I received and also the things Mr. Steve received. So I'm going to show you one thing, or should I say a collection of things that Mr. Steve bought for me. Look at this lovely collection of socks. As you know, I love wearing colourful socks. I have a pair of colourful socks on at the moment. And look what Mr. Steve bought for Christmas. He gave me a lovely selection of socks to keep my feet lovely and warm during those walks. And of course in the house. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I wear more clothes in the house than I do outside. I'm not lying either. I do. I love wrapping up warm when I'm at home. So there you can see a lovely collection of socks that Mr. Steve has bought for me. He gave me these as a Christmas gift, and I have to say, I love them. I love them very much. I don't know about you, but I always seem to wear my socks out. Wear out. If you wear out something, it means you destroy that thing because you've been using it. That thing will start to stop working, or maybe it will start to become damaged in some way. So my socks will often wear out. I don't know why, but anyway, we will see how long these lovely socks last for, and I have to say, I love them very much. Talking of gifts, Mr. Steve went to see some of his former work colleagues from the company he used to work for, and he met up, but one of his work colleagues presented Mr. Steve with a lovely gift. Would you like to see it? Look at that. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? Now, I have a feeling that they know that I have a very fond connection to giraffes. So this is a picture that one of Mr. Steve's former work colleagues actually created. So they actually did this themselves using pen and ink. Isn't that great? That's wonderful. So that will go somewhere in my studio. I will put this on the wall, maybe in here somewhere. So even though this was given to Mr. Steve, I have a feeling it's actually for me. Let's put it this way. I'm keeping it. This will be going somewhere in my studio. Isn't that great? I might show it again later on when Mr. Steve joins us. So many things to talk about today. So we are discussing astrology. When we look at the stars, are they giving us some sort of message from above? Is there something to be read? Is there some sort of cosmic message coming our way? Also, of course, each person has an astrology sign. A lot of people ask me, Mr. Duncan, what is your star sign? My star sign is Leo the Lion. So I am a Leo because my birthday is in August. What about you? When is your birthday? And what is your star sign? Talking of which, the Chinese New Year is coming up soon. So in a few weeks, I think it's the end of January or the beginning of February, it is the Chinese New Year. And this year, because of course there is a Chinese horoscope as well, with lots of different animals representing certain years. This year, it is the year of the snake, which is interesting because apparently I'm a snake. It's not the first time that someone has referred to me as a slippery snake, but it is this year the year of the snake, and it is also my Chinese zodiac animal because of the year in which I was born. So we will be talking about that a little bit later on. I'm sure there is something I've forgotten. What could it be? I have forgotten something. Oh yes, I know. It's you. How could I forget you out there in YouTube land? Hello to the live chat. It's nice to see you here today. I wonder who was first on today's live chat. Oh, hello. Oh, surprising. I'm very surprised. Andrew Maloychikov. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations, Andrew. In second place, the former champion, Vitas. You are in second place. Maurizio is here as well. We have Mosen, Beatrice. We also have... You know who I'm looking for, don't you? You know who I'm looking for. Always. Hello, Claudia, as well. Claudia is here as well. Christina is here, although I know that you are only staying for a short time. So just in case you have gone, goodbye. Just in case you are still here, hello. Who else is here today? We also have Zudzika. Oh, yes, I'm going to say a special hello to you in a moment. Don't go away. Who else is here today? Ah, there he is. I was wondering where you were. A big hello and welcome to Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Luis, it's nice to see you here today. I suppose the big question is, will we be meeting this year? Mr. Steve and myself, we are at the moment planning the 2025 English Addict Rendezvous. We are going to be in Paris. We don't have the dates yet, but if you want a chance to press flesh with me, you will have a chance to do so this year. Around about the end of May or the beginning of June, we will be going away and hopefully we will have some fun in Gay Paris. How does that sound? Talking of Chinese, because I mentioned Chinese zodiacs and all of the Chinese, I suppose you would describe them as characters or icons. The Chinese zodiac, which is made up of different animals. I am the snake. Can I just mention something that made me very excited the other night, and I did not even realise it? Just by chance, I was in town with Mr. Steve. It was getting late, and I was so surprised to find out that the Much Wenlock Chinese takeaway is back. I know what you're thinking. Mr. Duncan, why are you telling us this? Well, I will tell you now. The Chinese takeaway in Much Wenlock has been closed for the last 3 years. No one knew what was happening. One day it just closed down. It stayed there, but it's just been closed. Then suddenly it reopened. So guess what we did the other night? When we were in town, we actually went into the Chinese takeaway to order some food, even though we did not realise that that particular place had reopened. So the Much Wenlock Chinese takeaway has reopened, and yes, they did remember us. There was a young lady working behind the counter and she actually recognised us, and also she remembered the orders that we normally give. Can you believe that? After 3 years of being closed. So all I can say is that is such amazing service. So I'm very pleased to see that the takeaway, the Chinese takeaway, is open. And for those who are wondering, we always have vegetable chow mein with lovely noodles. Very nice. And of course, extra garlic. We always ask for extra garlic. And the other thing we always ask is that there is no MSG, monosodium glutamate. So we always ask, or we always request that there isn't any added to the food. Although I think sometimes they still add it. But the good thing is at least we don't eat Chinese food very often. But sometimes there can be ingredients added, especially MSG, which a lot of people don't like to eat these days for various reasons. But it is still good news to find out that the Chinese takeaway in Much Wenlock is open again. The Chinese takeaway is open again, and I'm very happy. Can I say a big thank you now? I've received some lovely donations to help my work continue forever and ever. Can I say a big thank you to Federico Garmendia and also Stefania Rebesco for your lovely donations that I received last week. I have to say, I was moved, touched, and very grateful for your lovely donations. Thank you very much. Don't forget, all of the donations will go into this project, which I've been doing now for over 18 years. So thank you very much, Federico and Stefania, for your lovely donations, and they are very much appreciated. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate all of your support. One of the reasons why I love doing this is because I get a lovely response from you out there. So, of course, without my audience, without you being there, I would not be here doing this for you. So I am very, very grateful. Thank you once again. I'm going to put it on the screen once more because I was very moved. Thank you very much, Federico and Stefania, for your lovely donations as well. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Another thing we're talking about today, by the way, romantic movies. Do you like watching romantic movies? We will be talking about that later on. And one of the things I've noticed, because Christmas has just come and gone, I noticed over Christmas all of the TV channels were showing lots of romantic movies. I don't know why, but there always seem to be lots of romantic movies being played during Christmas. Romantic movies and also war films. For some reason, I don't know why that is, but I did notice when I was looking through the channels on TV over Christmas, I noticed that most of the movies were either romantic or war films. It's a very strange combination when you think about it. Mr. Steve is on his way. He will be with us in a few moments. We are looking at lots of things. We might also be talking about food as well. As you know, I like food very much. Not only Chinese takeaway, but also lots of different types of food as well. All of that coming up. Mr. Steve always complains about this particular thing that is coming up now. He always says, Mr. Duncan, I think it is about time that you changed those videos that you play every week. Maybe you are getting bored with them. Well, we will see what happens. Because I do like to play these videos because I think they are fun to watch. And also, it gives me a chance to refresh myself And also it gives Mr. Steve a chance to settle down in the studio. So all of that coming up right now, and then afterwards we have Mr. Steve. He will be here live in the studio. And I'm sorry if you are tired and bored of watching these videos.
I'm a big boy now.
It is English Addict. You are watching us live right now from the birthplace of the English language. We have snow today. We have a lot of snow falling. Well, we've had lots falling overnight, although it's already starting to melt, I've noticed outside. Talking of things that are cold, especially when you touch them. No, not really. Here he comes then. This is the man. This is the man who likes to entertain us every Sunday. He likes to join us. And today I've made his corner, the corner of the studio, extra comfortable. Here he comes. It is the one, the only, Mr. Steve.
Hello, wonderful, beautiful viewers from across the globe. It's lovely to be here again, Mr. Duncan, to hopefully help you learn a bit of English. It's cold. Everyone's talking about the snow, Mr. Duncan. I noticed on the live chat, you must have been mentioning it. Well, Christina, we have a few Christinas on here. Christina Jackson is skiing at the moment.
Oh.
She's in some mountains skiing somewhere. We sadly have not had enough snow for that. And Giovanni, we're not throwing snowballs at each other, although that would be quite interesting to do, to throw a snowball at Mr. Duncan. I'd quite like to do that. We used to do it when we were younger. It was forecast that we were going to have about 4 inches of snow. What's that? 8 centimetres, something like that. And it's nowhere near that. In fact, it's virtually all melted away. But never mind. New year. We don't want to be snowed in, do we, Mr. Duncan, at the start of the year? I've got to go back to work tomorrow, so I need to get out.
So Steve's had a lovely, long, relaxing break. Have you noticed, Steve, in your corner, I've put lots of lovely cushions all around you.
Cushions?
Oh, dear. Look at the screen, Mr.
I do
Steve.
feel comfortable.
No,
I see. Oh, I see, Mr. Duncan.
Dear.
Well,
you know what? Why do I bother?
I can't get them. I want the cushion, Mr. Duncan, to sit on. I can't get it.
I don't normally mention this, but I'm going to. One of the things that we have in our studio, we have monitors so we can see what's happening. But Mr. Steve often forgets about the monitor, and he will just look at the camera, forgetting completely about what's actually happening. But anyway,
I get so engrossed. There's a good word, Mr. Duncan. There's a good word to start off.
What does it mean?
If you get engrossed, it means you're fully concentrating on something, almost to the point that you forget what's happening outside, whatever you're doing. You are engrossed so much, so focused on what you're doing, you almost don't hear people talking to you. You're not aware of the traffic outside. Engrossed. If you're engrossed in something, you can be engrossed in a book or in a hobby. You love doing it. It just takes all your interest and your fascination to the point that you don't know what's going on around you.
You are deeply involved.
Engrossed.
Maybe you are reading a book and the story is so amazing, it is fascinating, and you can't stop reading the book. You are engrossed.
I can't put this book down. I'm so engrossed in the story.
You, of course, might be engrossed in this, our live stream.
Exactly.
Which is with you every single Sunday and also Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time, live from the birthplace of the English language, which is, well, you know where it is. It's England. Of course it is. So have you enjoyed your break, Mr. Steve? Was it fun?
Well, yes, I've had over 2 weeks off because at work they make us. Some of you who are working may have this same scenario where you have so many days holiday a year, say 25, and the company you work for make you take some of those at certain times of the year when they know business is not going to be busy.
Yeah.
So they don't want you. So for me, for the company I work for, at Christmas, they make us take part of our holiday allowance. They make us take off the days between Christmas and New Year. And plus this year, another 2. So in fact, I've had to take 8 days out of my annual allowance to be off at Christmas. 6 days, I think. I took an extra 2.
Right, Steve.
But a lot of people were complaining, but I don't, because I always take a lot of time off at Christmas anyway. So how about you? Do your company put restrictions on when you can take your holiday? I've worked for other companies before, and they wouldn't let me take holiday, say, in September, because that was when we got most of our business in for the following year.
So I think it's fair to say that most companies will have a period of peak activity and then a period where things are not so busy. Do you want to know what the worst job is? Well, these days there might be more than one bad or unpleasant job to do during the Christmas period. Now, this is something from my own experience, Steve, working in a shop during Christmas.
Retail.
It is not much fun. I've done it, so I'm not criticising the retail industry because I've done it. I did it for quite a long time when I was young. I worked in a shop, I worked in retail. I used to love doing it because then I could put on a little bit of a show. I used to like performing in the shop. When I was selling things, I would turn it into a performance.
According to the Christmas sales figures, I don't think the shops have been that busy this year. I think it's the lowest for many, many years. And we've discussed this before. It's not much fun actually going shopping either. Well, I don't like it. By the way, Giovanni has suggested that we could all send in selfies while studying English, and Mr. Duncan can build a nice short video with a presentation.
Yes.
To see everybody, because we don't know what you look like. I don't know if you think that's a good idea, Mr. Duncan.
I would imagine that not many people would want to do that. And I'm going to tell you why. I can explain myself very clearly why I think this is not going to happen, because a lot of people are shy and they don't want to reveal themselves.
Shy.
You know this. I know this because if you look underneath this video, you will notice that most of the people in the live chat do not have a photograph of themselves as their icon. So I would say a lot of people, and it is true, Steve, a lot of people are shy. They're not all wild and crazy like you. They're not all as extroverted as Mr. Steve.
I'm not extrovert.
No.
I'm not an extrovert person. I'm an introvert. But when
you
the camera comes on...
Steve, you have your moments.
We all have our moments, don't we? And I was very shy when I was younger, but I'm not so shy now. But I think that does improve with age.
Anyway, back to the original point, which is photographs. I always think it's a nice idea in theory, but I would imagine a lot of people would not want to be identified, and certainly if I was going to publish those photographs on YouTube. So that is the problem, you see. That is the problem. I think I will not. I don't think many people will, because if you want the chance to do that, you can do it in the live chat, you see. So you could put your photograph in the icon next to your name. So it would be revealed. You will be able to show yourself.
The problem is with that, Mr. Duncan, is that it's so small, the little icon, you can't tell who it is. You'd need a magnifying glass to be able to see them.
Well, that's it then. That's what you have to do. You have to get a magnifying glass, so then you can identify everyone on the live chat.
Anyway, we don't know that. I'm not expecting that everybody would want to send their picture, but whoever does, they can, can't they, Mr. Duncan? If you want to.
All I can say, Steve, it is going to be a very short video.
Well, let's see. Think positive, Mr. Duncan.
I am thinking
2025. Think positive.
Yeah, I am, Steve. I am thinking positive, and
it doesn't sound like it.
And I'm positive that no one will want to reveal themselves.
You never know. You never know. And it would be nice to see what you look like, because we've said this many times before. We know what some of you look like because we've met you in person.
You do have to be careful nowadays, Steve. That's the problem.
And of course, yes. So, I mean, obviously, don't send a picture to Mr. Duncan if you don't want it to be shown live to the world.
I always say that it's best probably not to send me any photographs at all, because
Well, there we go. Maurizio has said, I'm lazy, but I'll change my icon. Well, it is. I mean, this is the same for me. If I've got an icon at work, for example, when we're doing streams through, what's it called? iPlayer, is it?
FaceTime or
not FaceTime. What do we use? I can't
Zoom?
remember what we use at work.
Zoom?
Zoom. If we're doing anything on Zoom or something like
Teams?
that. Pardon?
Teams?
Teams and Zoom are the common platforms to do work-related. When you've got maybe 6, 8, 20, 30 people on,
Yes.
having a meeting remotely.
Yeah. Conference chats.
Conference chats. Well, before you're waiting to come on, a lot of people never put their camera on.
Mm.
And they just sit there in silence. You don't even know if they're really concentrating. But they've got a square box with their name in,
Yes.
but there's no picture. And
No.
you have to make an effort to do that. You've got to take a picture of yourself, then you've got to upload it, then you've got to figure out how to put it into that particular icon.
Mm.
So I should imagine a lot of people don't put a picture on because they just can't be bothered to go through that process.
Maybe we should start forcing people to do it. Maybe we will ignore you if you don't have a photograph of yourself, and then it will force you to do it.
If you want to.
Of course, we would never do that.
But these little icons at the side on the left, you might as well not bother with them because you can't really see the picture.
I can see them. Clearly. I can see Claudia. Claudia has one.
Claudia
I can
has
see
one, yes.
Claudia's face smiling at me. Not many though.
But could
Vit-
you
oh,
use that to
Steve.
identify Claudia
Well-
in a police lineup, for example? Would that be sufficient without using a magnifying glass to be able to, identify Claudia in a lineup?
What do you mean a lineup?
A lineup of people, lots of people, all in a row, lined up, and you have to walk past them and identify them.
Well, why? Why would you do that?
Well, the police do it sometimes, don't they? If you've had a crime.
So you're telling me that there's a possibility that Claudia might be involved in some sort of crime, and then will have to be involved in a lineup where they will take her icon from YouTube and
Yes.
say, "Is this the lady?
Exactly.
Is this tiny little photograph the person we are
Was
looking
this
for?"
the lady that filled your tooth with amalgam? And
Don't forget, Steve, Vitas also has his photograph.
yeah, fantastic. But I can't tell from there. I can't even. I'd need a magnifying glass,
I can see it.
a very powerful one.
Yeah, it's just that's what you need then.
Maybe
Just
I need glasses.
Maybe I should get you a much larger device to watch the live chat on.
If you click on the icon, does it get bigger?
No,
If you press on it.
no, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, but it is just a fun thing. And let's face, but even there, see, this goes back to my original point. Even then, people don't like to reveal themselves. They are very shy. Well, you just said even people in your own company don't like to reveal themselves, and they are all working for the same organisation. So it is interesting, though. But if you want to send a photograph, if you want to send one,
A photograph of you learning English, then we'll happily put them all together in a nice sequence, and people can.
What I might actually do is just show the picture itself, maybe
Yeah.
in the corner of the screen, and then just say hello to that particular person. Does that sound like a good idea?
It does.
See, this sounds like the sort of conversation we should be having when we're not doing a live stream. This almost sounds like administration rather than the content.
Giovanni's in the mountains, but we can't really tell from that very small. It's so small you can't even. I'd need a magnifying glass.
Oh yes, I've just realised. Giovanni, I can see you now. There you are. You are standing in front of a magnificent landscape on your little icon. Amazing. And I can see the birds as well flying behind you in the distance.
He can't. He's
and
just making that up.
there are some just small flakes of snow coming down as well next to you. It's a very, very good icon. I like that one. There's so much going on.
Somebody called Artist, hello, has said, I have one request. Could you make videos to see by all, because I'm able to watch these videos since I'm not membership. Not sure what you mean by that.
Let me just read it. I have one request. Could you please make the videos to be seen by all? Because I'm able to watch those videos. I'm not quite sure what that means, but all of my video lessons are available to watch, even if you are not subscribed. So you don't have to subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch my videos or my live streams. However, it is always a good idea to subscribe, and then of course you can follow, and you will be notified of when my new lessons have been published and when my live streams are taking place. So much to talk about today, Mr. Steve, by the way. We have a lot to talk about. Astrology. Oh. Now, I bet you weren't expecting that, were you, Steve?
I wasn't. I never know what we're going to talk. Well, very rarely. Sometimes Mr. Duncan says, oh, by the way, we're talking about this today. But today he hasn't told me.
No. So it's all going to be a lovely, lovely surprise. So I'm just wondering now, Mr. Steve, as I sit here, astrology, is it real? Or is it fake? Because you might be surprised to find out how many people still enjoy reading their horoscope. The thing that is produced to determine or show or even forecast what is going to happen in your life. Now, I was watching a very interesting video yesterday all about this particular subject.
Okay.
And it is amazing how many people will still follow or believe their horoscope or the prediction for themselves. Even though if you gave that prediction to lots and lots of random people, they would all probably relate to that particular thing as well. So it doesn't actually matter what your star sign or your month of your birth actually is. That prediction could really apply to anyone. It is a very general thing. For example, someone might say, oh, if you are Leo, which is my star sign, you are going to have some interesting choices to make in your job over the next few days. And I might say, oh yes, I have got some interesting choices that I have to make in my job over the next few days. Wow, that must be for me. However, you could probably say that to anyone, anywhere, and they would probably say, they would probably reply with, yes, oh yes, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm concerned about my work or my job, because it is a very general thing that most of us are involved in some way. We all have some sort of work. So astrology is one of those strange things that people do enjoy listening about or hearing or even reading. And I remember as a kid, I used to love looking at my horoscope. What about you, Mr. Steve? What are you?
What am I what?
What is your star sign?
Aquarius.
Oh, the water carrier.
Yes. Well, it's always interesting, isn't it? When you're growing up, that you come across all these different subjects, these areas of interest. I was always very interested in astronomy, and then I found out about astrology.
Yes.
And of course, it's generally regarded as a bit of a pseudoscience.
There is definitely a difference, by the way. I suppose we should just mention quickly, astronomy is the study of the stars and the analysing of the universe. Astrology is the reading of the planets and the stars. And somehow from the positions of those things, those celestial bodies, you can predict the future. So there is a big difference between those things. But yes, sorry, Steve.
Yeah, forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, there is a belief that the orbits of the planets in our solar system, Jupiter or Mars, have an influence on your life and what could happen.
People believe that.
People believe that. Yeah, I mean, scientists all say it's rubbish, but people believe it. And maybe they want to believe it. Maybe it's a guide to some people that they want to have some direction, some instruction on maybe what to do, what to look out for. And, I'm not going to criticize people who do astrology, because it probably gives a lot of comfort to people.
Yes, it is interesting. Well, I think people like to think that something is keeping control of everything. And I think you're right. I think it is a kind of reassurance. So when a person reads their star prediction or their star sign prediction, they kind of feel reassured. But it's always good things. That's the problem. It's always good things. So it will always be, oh, you will meet an interesting person today. You have a new opportunity coming your way over the next few days. It's never, you are going to fall down the stairs and end up in hospital with a broken leg. It's never anything like that. See, those are the important things that I'd like to know. Not, oh, you are going to have a very nice meal on Thursday. That's really, I don't really need to know that. I need the important information. Am I going to fall down the stairs and break my leg? That's what you should be telling me.
Well, yes, I don't think we should judge it.
Steve,
Steve,
I'm not judging it.
Fine. There is this belief that the universe, everything is a big field of energy.
Yeah.
And the planets and all matter is essentially energy.
Yeah.
And thus.
But this is not what it's about, though.
Astrology. Well, if you let me finish, Mr. Duncan, and that if everything is interacting with everything else, everything's energy. Everything that some people believe there's like a universal consciousness. Therefore, there is the possibility, therefore, that a big mass, a planet, in theory, if you follow that line of logic, could have some influence if it's nearer to you, because its energy will be nearer to you. It depends on whether if you believe in this it's kind of a pseudoscience.
Well, yes, that's it, isn't it? But it's still incredibly popular, isn't it? It's the newspaper every day. The newspapers will still publish the horoscopes. So what about you out there in YouTube land? Do you follow the horoscopes? And what is your star sign? And the reason why I've mentioned this, Steve, also is because this year, the Chinese New Year, the actual symbol of this year is the snake. And guess who was born in the year of the snake?
Oh, I've no idea.
This guy.
You, Mr. Duncan.
This guy here. So I am a snake. So it is my year, apparently. Apparently it's a good year as well to have. So some years in the Chinese zodiac are seen as more unlucky than others. So apparently the snake is supposed to be quite good. I'm not sure which is the worst one, but probably best not to go into that. So what about you out there in YouTube land? What is your astro sign? Marcia says, I am Taurus. My birthday is in May. I don't understand much about astrology, but it seems that my sign agrees with my way of living. Okay, so there you go. You see? There you go. A lot of people follow it, or maybe it is just an interesting thing, isn't it, as well, Steve? So it's like anything.
It
can be quite interesting.
It can be interesting. Probably don't take it too seriously if you do read it. I mean, I did, when I was younger, I did sort of start reading, getting into it a bit, and I used to read it and think and try and identify whether any of the predictions came true. But the problem is, as you've said, Mr. Duncan, they're a bit vague and could probably apply to anyone. And at any rate, every now and then, just by chance, they're going to be right.
Yes. It's rather like people who say they have psychic powers as well. So it's a very similar thing. You can go into a room and ask general questions to people, and eventually you might find someone will react to what you are saying, because if you don't be very accurate or specific, you can say something that could apply to lots and lots of people. But I do find these things quite interesting because a lot of people will look at them, and I suppose a lot of people also just read them but don't take them seriously. It's almost like entertainment. It's a bit like those TV shows, Steve, where people go into old buildings and then they pretend that there are ghosts there. But we like watching those things, even though in the back of our minds we kind of know that perhaps it isn't real. Perhaps it is actually all just fake.
One thing's for certain, that the workings of the universe are still largely mysterious. Scientists have not managed to work out a lot of how the material world works. We have lots of theories that do work, but when it comes to the sort of quantum level, this unbelievably complicated subatomic level of particles, and we won't get into that, but they don't really understand how that works. And I remember many years ago when I was in college, being told that by one of the science teachers that over history it's been proved lots of times that whatever we think we know now will probably be completely overturned in 50 years' time. And scientists are beginning now to look into weird effects in the quantum world and how that's influencing our lives. And so who knows, in 50 years' time they might say, yes, this planet will have an effect on you. We just don't know.
No, we don't know.
We don't know.
But not knowing about things can mean that you can also create or invent anything as well. And then some people might become slightly distracted. The one thing that I saw in the video that I watched yesterday was, I don't know if you remember, was it the Hale-Bopp comet when it was heading towards the Earth? I think that was the name of it.
Halley, was it Halley-Bopp? No, something like that.
This guy reported, I think it was in a newspaper or on TV, he was talking about the fact that there was a spaceship flying next to it, and this ship was coming to the Earth to take away some people, to take away their souls and go to another planet. And a lot of people believed this. They all joined together in a group, they had a lovely meal together, and then they went to another location, and let's just say they ended their existence together because they believed that this ship was going to be coming at that particular moment, and then their souls would go up to the spaceship.
Interesting.
That's how certain things can be twisted and turned if you are dealing with the unknown, because with the unknown you can, I suppose, really, you can create anything, can't you, really? You can say anything. I could say that in the morning when I wake up, I open my curtains and there are some little fairies dancing around at the end of my garden. And you might say, Mr. Duncan, are you crazy? And I say, no, they are definitely there. They are there. You might not be able to see them, but I can. They are there, definitely.
I sometimes think there is something in when they talk about whether you're Pisces, Aquarius, Gemini, Leo, whatever it is. There are certain people they assign characteristics of people, don't they, to the star signs. And I think sometimes, when I've looked at that and studied the people, like a Leo or an Aquarius, they do tend to, whatever the characteristics are, and there are fixed characteristics, aren't there, for all these star signs, that you are supposed to be like this in character. And I sometimes think there is something in that, because certainly when it comes to Aquarius, my own sign, and Giovanni is as well, quite a few Aquarians on here today.
Jimmy in Hong Kong is Sagittarius, or as I always say, soggy tuna fish. Sagittarius.
And Aquarians are supposed to be sort of quite scientific, sort of more introverted, kind, sort of gentle personalities.
But then I'm interested in those things, and I'm Leo.
Really? You might think you are, Mr. Duncan.
They always say that Leos are creative and artistic. But then you could say that about most people. I think everyone has some sort of artistic ability, and that they might all be born at very different times. But I think it is an interesting subject.
Yeah.
Not one that I would essentially take seriously, but I think as long as you use it as some sort of, I don't know, maybe a guide, or maybe you just treat it like entertainment, like all of those ghost programs on TV. and yeah, I suppose that it's quite harmless as long as you don't take it too seriously. I think so.
Well, you can certainly make a good living out of being an astrologist.
Yeah.
There have been lots of famous astrologists who used to have regular time slots on TV, on the radio. I don't know if we still have that, Mr. Duncan, in the UK.
Astrologers?
That appear on television and programmes.
They tend not to appear on TV, but they certainly appear in newspapers. Definitely. And, of course, on the internet.
Yeah, so I can't remember. There was one or two famous astrologists that we used to have in the UK. And they became quite famous. They were household names. If you are somebody who is a household name, it means it's somebody famous, and everybody knows who you are. A household name, a name everybody knows.
Something familiar.
Something familiar. They've been on television. Lots of people like them. They're popular.
It can be a product as well.
Yes. So, yes, we used to see that a lot when I was growing up. I can't remember any names of people that were famous astrologists, but I think it used to be taken more seriously 50 years ago, 40 years ago, than it is now. But
there was one famous one in this country called Mystic Meg.
Mystic Meg.
Mystic Meg. She would sit in front of a giant orb, a big glass orb, and look into it, and she would say, "This week, if you are born under Saturn, you must be careful. You must treat your money wisely. You must not spend any money this week on anything, even food. You must go without food for the next 6 weeks. Saturn is telling me that." That sort of thing. So Mystic Meg, sadly no longer around. She sadly passed away a couple of years ago. But there were lots of people who would do that. And of course psychics as well. A psychic person. There was a very famous one that was always on TV, Steve, when I was growing up, called Doris Stokes. An elderly lady. And I think if you are going to be a psychic or a person who can get in touch with the other side, I think you should always be an elderly lady. Because
for some reason,
somehow it seems to suit their personality. And of course, a lot of people remember that film Poltergeist. And there was that little old lady in Poltergeist. This house is clean. I'm trying to get in touch. She's trying to send a message to you. She's saying, can I please have beans on toast tomorrow? So that was in Poltergeist. And there was that little lady. And she had that high-pitched voice. So I always think if you are going to be a psychic, you should be a little old lady. And people will believe you more. I think so.
We could really expand into other areas from this, couldn't we? The sort of pseudoscience areas, like ghosts.
I suppose the general term is supernatural.
Yeah, the supernatural.
Do you believe in the supernatural?
I'd be interested, actually, anybody watching, has anybody seen a ghost? I've never seen one.
I'm looking at one now.
But there's lots of words around we could use around ghost as well.
Maybe we do that another time.
Right, okay.
Because we are coming back to do another live stream in the future. We will be back here.
Well, if we run out of things to say, we'll go back to that later.
There is no chance of that. Today, by the way, Mr. Steve, something I wanted to mention. Can I just mention this thing? Because I got so excited earlier. You missed this, Steve, unfortunately. You missed my excitement because the Much Wenlock Chinese takeaway has returned.
Yes.
I have to say, I was so pleased. I can't begin to tell you how excited I was when I realised that the Chinese takeaway in Much Wenlock is now open again for business. It's been closed for over 3 years. It actually closed during COVID. And we just assumed that the owners had vanished or gone back to China, maybe, because I know they came from Hong Kong, in fact. So we thought they'd just gone back and didn't come back to open the business again. But anyway, it's back. The Chinese takeaway in Much Wenlock is back again, and I have to say, I think maybe, how many times a week do you think we are going to have a Chinese meal, Mr. Steve?
Well, I would put it how many times a month.
Oh, I see.
Because it's very greasy. The food was very greasy, full of fat. But it was lovely.
It was.
And it will be a nice treat if we don't want to take away curry, because the only takeaway food in Much Wenlock is either, well, you've got the pubs. We haven't even got a fish and chip shop, have we, Mr. Duncan?
We haven't, although they do chips at the Chinese restaurant.
But that will be lovely, particularly when the summer comes. We can walk in, we can get a takeaway meal, and we can sit on a bench and eat it. And it was so hot, I burnt the roof of my mouth on it. Do you know sometimes when you eat food that's too hot, you can feel it's burnt your gums, and you know that in a few days' time they're all going to swell up and you're going to get a slight infection in between your teeth, and I've got that at the moment, and suddenly it's very painful to brush your teeth because it's all inflamed from when you damaged it with the hot food. That's so annoying. I keep doing that. Mr. Duncan laughs at me because I'm trying my best not to eat my food when it's too hot. And what I do is, because you become desensitized to the heat, I stick my finger in the food now.
By the way, that is disgusting, and it's true. Steve sometimes will stick his finger into his food.
I stick my finger into the food, and if it's too hot for my finger, I think it must be too hot for my mouth, because obviously your mouth is quite delicate.
Well, I suppose there are worse things you could stick into your food.
So sometimes you can't tell if food is, because you eat it, your mouth becomes accustomed to hot food, don't you? You build up this resistance.
Okay.
But you still might, so you can't often tell if it's that hot. And I think if you stick your finger in it, if you can't stand it in with your finger, then it's probably too hot to eat. It's the same with drinks.
I would say that it's probably not a good idea. If you are going to a very fancy restaurant and you are sitting down and there's lots of very posh people all around you, do not, under any circumstances, stick your finger into your food to see how hot it is.
Well, that's another one of my New Year resolutions, is
Oh,
not to eat food that's too hot. Because I think it's over a lot of time, it could cause problems in your mouth with your gums, constantly burning areas of your mouth. So drinks, now when people get cups of coffee or cups of tea, you see people drinking it straight away, and it must be 80 degrees because it's just been made. It's probably far too hot, and yet you see people drinking. I mean, I'm guilty of that. Cup of coffee, just drink it down, and you're not realising that it's probably it's probably burning the inside of your mouth. And over many years, you don't know what problems that could cause.
I have heard this as well in the past. I've heard that drinking hot drinks, a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, if you drink it too hot, it can cause damage also lower down in your esophagus.
Well, that's it, yes. And if it's burning, you don't want to be burning anything down there.
No, you do not.
Because you don't know if it could precipitate some other illness later on in life.
Well,
so,
this is cheerful for a Sunday.
Well, what I've found is that when you wait for a cup of tea to be cold enough, that it doesn't hurt when you put your finger in it. So once it's reached the temperature that I can stand it with my finger, and then I drink it, it feels like it's almost cold, showing that I've got used to eating food and drink which is probably too hot. So I'm going to resensitize my mouth and eat food and drink which is 40 degrees or something, a temperature which won't cause burning.
You are such a fun person to be around when we're eating, I have to say. So now everything you do, if you're having a meal, it's like you have to do lots of tests on all of the food to make sure it's a certain temperature.
But
I think you should carry a thermometer with you at all times.
The thing is, when I sit down to eat, I'm very hungry, so I put the food in very quickly.
Yeah.
Mr. Duncan always comments.
Yeah, you eat like a pig.
I eat, thank you, and of course it's too hot. You just need to wait, eat little bits at a time. By the way, Amit, hello Amit, says, have you ever tried Indian food? Well, my goodness, it's my favourite food. In fact, we had Indian food last night.
Yes.
Because I made a lentil dal, which I cook in the slow cooker. So tin of tomatoes, lentils and onion, red and green lentils, mix those all in with some curry powder, mild curry powder I put in, and let that cook in the slow cooker for about 5 or 6 hours, and we had it with rice. And if we go out anywhere to eat, Indian food is always our favourite.
But
so,
the
yes,
interesting,
Amit.
what I find interesting, and this is something I'm sure a lot of people know this, especially if you are watching in India at the moment, is that the traditional, or what I call real Indian food, isn't hot. It isn't over spicy. So a lot of authentic Indian food is not actually designed to burn your mouth out with all of the spices. So I always find that quite interesting. And I do like mild curries. I like the ones with the butter and the coconut, and the chicken tikka is one of my favourites. So they tend not to be very spicy, and I do like those, to be honest with you. I like them very much.
Of course, in the UK, the Indian food is extremely popular. Extremely popular. I would say every town has, at least even the small. I mean, we've got one in Much Wenlock. There's only a small population, really, but we have an Indian restaurant, and they've been in business for, probably 20 years.
Well, there is always that expression, or the thing that people say, we had no food or no national food in this country until Indian food arrived here. And now we see a lot of types of food that are from other countries as being our national dish. So I think it's fair to say that curry is one of the most popular of all of the different types of food. Italian food as well, all of that has influenced.
Yes, when I was growing up in the sort of 1970s, if you wanted something, most people didn't eat any foreign food. It was mostly just, British food, meat and 2 veg, roast on a Sunday. But my father was a sailor, so before I was born, and he used to go all over the world. So he was very keen on letting us try different dishes from different countries. But so his favourite was always Italian food. So we would eat spaghetti bolognese, and my father would make it. All sorts of. He never cooked any Indian food. But I did take my parents to an Indian restaurant when I was in my 20s, and they did like it. They were always a bit frightened, scared of trying Indian food.
Okay.
Which, because it seemed so different to... I mean, Italian food, you can relate to that. If you're used to eating sort of... British food is fairly bland.
Yes.
People would call it bland.
Well, that is what most people say about British food. They say it has no taste, there's no artistic style, it's all made in a rather simple and bland way, and there is very little else that you can actually say about British cuisine.
Because we don't put spices in it,
No.
So Caribbean food it has lots of spices in it. Most of Asia has put spices in the food, but we don't tend to do that. Although, as we said before, I add garam masala to my baked beans to give them a bit of flavour.
Yes. Don't forget also that the things added to the food don't exist in this country. So a lot of the herbs, a lot of the spices wouldn't actually naturally grow here. So it's taken that period of time where things have been introduced. And now I think it's fair to say that when we talk about popular types of food in England, I would say curry is very high up there, definitely.
Oh, everybody, virtually everybody eats curry. I don't know many people that don't like it now. It's become very popular. But when you get to know the owners of these restaurants, which I have done in one or two before, it's very, they soon tell you, because sometimes they come out and eat, or some of the staff, it'll be their time for a break and they'll be sitting in the corner eating. And we used to ask them, what do you eat? And they would say, well, it's very different to what we cook you, because the Indian food that we cook for you is altered. It's a lot fattier. There's more things, the different things in it to try and sort of. It's more westernized.
Yeah,
it's not traditional, as you said. It's not
the
traditional food.
They go by what they're asked to make. So they've worked out that we like. Well, some people like. Not everyone likes the hot, spicy food. I think most people don't. But some men will often go and have the hottest. Vindaloo is the one. The hottest one is Vindaloo. It's incredibly spicy, and it will probably blow the top of your head off. I was asked, Steve, we've got to move on because it's 22 minutes past 3 already.
Wow, yes.
Well, I was asked earlier if there is a difference between Chinese food in the UK and Chinese food in China. The answer very quickly is yes. It is much better in China, especially if you go to some of the older or more established Chinese restaurants or cafes. In fact, in many towns, they are all over the place in China. There is never any shortage of places to go and get food. if you live in China. And quite often, although they do have the same problem there with using certain additives such as MSG. So monosodium glutamate is incredibly popular even in China. You can go to supermarkets and they will sell huge sacks of monosodium glutamate. And yes, it does go in the food. Even in China, it does.
When we went to, I think the hotter the country, the more chances are you're going to have lots of people, serving food from maybe a van, or lots of restaurants everywhere, because there isn't really a tradition in the UK, that certainly wasn't when I was growing up, that you would go out to eat. Everybody cooked and ate at home, even during the summer. Because it's relatively expensive to eat out in the UK. We think of countries, as you say, like China, Malaysia, where you can eat out, but it's cheap to eat out in a lot of countries, probably as cheap as eating in. Whereas in the UK, it's going to cost you a lot of money to eat out at a restaurant. Most people, and of course the weather isn't very good in the winter.
Anyway, we've got to move on, Steve.
That's fine.
We're going to have a quick break and then we'll be back, and we are looking at romantic movies, and also what is the difference between want and need. What do you want and what do you need? Is it something important, or is it just greed? Oh, all of that coming in a couple of moments from now. English Addict is with you today, and it is myself, Mr. Duncan, and also, of course, yes, he is still here in the studio with his soft cushions. Oh, look, there he is. Mr. Steve is with us. Are you comfortable, Steve?
I've managed to manifest one of the pillows. So they didn't look real, but they were real. I just thought, make one of those pillows real. Make it real, and it just sprung to life. So how about that? This was my mother's pillow. It's one she used to have. Anyway, it's gone.
Is that, you see, now I have to say, the way that built up, I thought we were going to have more there.
What did you want?
I don't know, maybe a song or a dance, or maybe a magic trick. Maybe you were going to put the pillow under your shirt to make it look as if you've been eating lots and lots of food. Don't do it now, Steve.
I'm stroking this. This is, here we go. This is a word, stroking.
Oh, yes.
I'm stroking this pillow.
Oh, dear.
I'm hugging this pillow.
Okay.
There's a couple of words for you.
Let's leave it at that.
It's a high quality pillow. This is actually
A high quality pillow.
Yes, I might put it on eBay and see what I can get for it.
They're going to sell a cushion.
I'm kneading, like you're kneading dough.
You certainly need something.
I'm kneading.
Steve, you certainly need something. Maybe tablets.
There we go. There's some words for you. Don't say I don't teach you English when I come on here.
Very, very good. Now, here's a thing I noticed over Christmas. A lot of TV channels were showing romantic movies, love stories, and all sorts of romantic situations taking place. Romantic movies. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really like romantic movies. Certain types of movies that might have some sort of love theme, but I'm talking about the full on romantic movie. And I noticed over Christmas a lot of not only romantic movies but also movies that were set in a period of time over Christmas. And that it seems to be a very popular area of film subject. People falling in love over Christmas. Now, you mentioned last week something very interesting where people are actually not having a relationship over Christmas, or maybe they fall out of love just before Christmas.
Yes, 2 weeks before Christmas is the peak time for relationships to break up. Because people can't face Christmas because you're together for several days. You're not at work. There's no break. You're forced together. So if the relationship isn't going well, a lot of people tend to break it up 2 weeks before Christmas because that means they don't have to spend Christmas with them, and they're giving them that person 2 weeks to get over the breakup.
So romantic movies in this situation are people who are meeting during the Christmas period and they are falling in love. So apparently it is not enough to fall in love at any particular period of time. If you fall in love over Christmas, it's more wonderful apparently, and that's why there are so many romantic movies. Can you think of a romantic movie straight away, Steve?
Love Actually.
Oh.
I don't know where... I don't watch romantic movies. Then I'm not... By the way, can I just say kneading, as in that type of kneading, is it's spelled K-N E-D-I-N-G. If you need something, it means you need something. Say, you need a car to go from one town to another. But kneading, the action of kneading is spelled K-N. Somebody's put N-E-E-D. It's the same, sounds the same.
I have.
But is spelt differently.
I put it there.
Oh, you've done it.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Love Actually. Beatrice says that she... But I can't... I know the name, but I can't remember who's in it.
Is that the film with Hugh Grant? Where he plays the Prime Minister of Great Britain, and then there is some sort of love interest, or maybe someone comes into his life. And normally, in a love story, normally the two people that fall in love, they normally start off hating each other, and they don't like each other. And then slowly over time they begin to become closer and they start to become more attached to each other. And then eventually they kiss and cuddle. But that is the one, Love Actually. Very, very British film. Very British.
Rom-coms.
Romantic comedies.
Is another. Comedies that have romance in them.
Ivan says the best romantic movie is one from the 1980s, Out of Africa. If you would like to learn English, it is a great one. I really recommend it. Thank you, Ivan. Out of Africa. Is that, now I'm using my memory here, is it Meryl Streep? I don't know why, I'm feeling, I'm getting a vibration through the the cosmos.
It's the planets, Mr.
Is it?
Duncan.
Is it? I'm sure it's Meryl Streep. I'm sure someone will say, "No, Mr. Duncan, you foolish man." I thought it was Meryl Streep, and there was a guy. Who was it? He was a hunky, attractive guy, and I can. Was it Kevin Costner? Kevin Costner, Meryl Streep.
I'm sure he's been in love films.
I wonder. Oh yes. I can't believe it. It was Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep was in Out of Africa. That's incredible. Wow. I can't remember the man though. I can't remember who
surprising.
Who the male was, but yes, Meryl Streep. Oh.
Saturino says, I like science fiction movies. Same here.
Can you have a love science fiction movie where two robots fall in love with each other and then they start to... Can I just say, I was going to say something then, and it was connected to hard drives. I will leave you to put those things into a certain order. So that was the joke I was going to make. Two robots falling in love, and then something connected to a hard drive. But that's it. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know if... I mean, sometimes there are relationships going on in science fiction films, but they're rarely the main point of the story.
I think... Steve, I think Blade Runner is...
Well, I was about to mention that one.
I think it's a love story.
Because the lady robot falls in love with Decker. And so that is a kind of a love story. He doesn't fall in love with her because she's a robot.
Steve, the lady robot might be the cutest thing anyone's ever said.
Simulant? What do they call them? Simulants?
No, you're not listening to me, Steve. I just said it's a cute thing to say. Lady robot. It's lovely. I think that's lovely.
Well, in the future, we'll all have programmed robots.
Oh yes,
won't we? That will give our every wish.
Oh, okay. I look forward to that.
I'm sure in 100 years' time, we will have robots that look almost like human beings. Well, they've got them in certain countries already, haven't they?
Fully functioning.
It'll be the only reason to actually develop them, won't it? Because
okay, Steve, fully functioning.
A fully functioning artificial being that will tend to your every need, and you won't have to give it anything apart from to plug it in.
Romantic movies.
Back to romantic movies.
I think Blade Runner is a romantic movie because it is one robot, one replicant, who is really, he has the hots for his other replicant. I think her name was Pris. And the other one, Batty. What was his name? The lead one, played by Rutger Hauer.
I can't remember, but
no, I know that Harrison Ford was in it, but I think that is a kind of love story as well.
But you wouldn't call Blade Runner a romantic movie.
Roy, his name.
There is some romance in it, but it's very much not the main part of the film.
It's Roy Batty.
Fine.
What a great name for a robot.
Pretty Woman.
Okay.
Palmyra, you're a pretty woman.
Yes.
I'm sure. In fact, you have got a picture there by the side, but I can't see it because it's too small. Pretty Woman with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. Yeah, that's a famous love film.
It romanticises a rather... how can I put this in a way that isn't going to be offensive? It romanticises a certain profession that has been around since time began. That's all I'm saying. So it is an odd movie, I always think.
What's the one? Is that the one with Richard Gere where he goes to her workplace at the end and they're running towards each other?
No.
Which one's that?
You're thinking of An Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh, An Officer and a Gentleman. Well, that's a romantic movie, isn't it?
Yes, full on. In fact, that one is more romantic. I think that's more of a romantic movie than Pretty Woman. Let's face it, we all know what Pretty Woman is about. But yes, An Officer and a Gentleman, very good movie, nice story, a bit sad in places as well, where Richard Gere's friend, he gets a bit upset because the girl he wants to marry doesn't want to marry him, and so he swallows the ring, and the rest is too unpleasant to talk about. And that's the other thing as well, Steve. A lot of romantic movies can be quite depressing.
Well, we all like a happy ending, don't we?
Oh, we do.
In a film.
Oh.
It's science fiction. You expect it to be a dark, dismal ending. In fact, you want it to be like that.
Yeah.
Quite often, but in a romance movie, you just want to sit there. You want the two people in the end. They might be with other partners, and then they meet and they like each other, but they're with somebody else. But then in the end, love conquers all, as they say. There's a good expression. Love conquers all.
Mm-hmm.
The implication there with that phrase is that if you love somebody enough, then you'll overcome any obstacle to be with them.
As long as they don't run off with someone else.
It could be another country. It could be prejudice within families. Now, a lot of romantic films have been made around class. One person being in a lower class than another, or maybe racial differences, and overcoming those obstacles of race or of class or of poverty, one person being poor, another one being rich. Lots of films where what you're trying to tell the audience is that if love is strong enough, it will overcome any obstacle.
Yes. Oh, Alessandra, very good. That is a very good suggestion.
Yes.
Ghost, of course. Starring a real ghost. Yes. Because, of course, Patrick Swayze no longer around. So technically he is now a real ghost. And he was in Ghost with Demi Moore. A very good film. I know Whoopi Goldberg is in it, and I'm not a big fan of her, to be honest. But she's bearable. I will say that she is bearable in Ghost. But a wonderful movie, and we all cry at the end. I do. I cry. Well, I normally cry when Whoopi Goldberg appears, but also at the end.
Actually, there was one very old-fashioned film which really moved me at the time, and I don't normally watch these sort of romantic sort of films. On the surface, it doesn't seem like a romantic. It's called The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. And it's a story about a lady that goes to live in a seaside town. And in the past, there has been a shipwreck.
Yes.
And everyone died in the shipwreck. But the captain comes to her as a ghost.
Oh.
And they start a relationship. He's a ghost. He's dead. He died in the shipwreck.
Yeah.
She didn't know him before at all because he just moved into the town. Lives on her own. Falls in love with this captain from this ship. And time moves on. She gets older and older, and then right at the end she dies, turns into a ghost, and they go off together.
Yes.
It's incredibly sad but very moving.
So
she waits her entire life to die so that he can come and fetch her and take her up to heaven.
So is her ghost old?
No. When she dies, her ghost is young.
That's very convenient.
Had quite an impact on me at the time, that film. I remember bursting into floods of tears
So
at the end of it.
how does that work then? So when you get older,
Well, you don't think about it, Mr. Duncan. It's a film.
see, but I can't.
There's
watch
no thinking. You don't think about it. You just
You
go
know-
with it.
You know me, Steve. I can't watch a film without trying to pick the plot apart. So how does it know what age?
Oh,
that
but let's
you-
forget about it, Mr. Duncan.
become-
It's just a film. It's a lovely film. You're ruining it.
Yeah. Well, you've ruined it by giving the ending away.
Well, anyway, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. If you want to cry your eyes out, watch that. I think it was made in 1950 or something.
I think
Titanic.
I think if people want to cry their eyes out, they just tune into this.
Well, you know, Palmyra says Titanic, of course, with Kate Winslet and DiCaprio, of course, is essentially a romantic film set, in the Titanic that sinks, and
On
of
the
course
boat.
that is based on love overcoming class, because Kate Winslet's character is from a rich, posh family, and he is very poor, and love overcomes class.
But again, another problem with that story is the bad guy, who was her intended, her fiance, survives, and so does she. And poor old Leonardo, he has to sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Well, that's
So I would imagine later, her fiance and Kate Winslet, they get back together again and live happily ever after.
Doesn't he die, the nasty fiance? Doesn't
Did he?
he?
Oh, I thought he survived.
I don't know. I think he tries to get into one of the boats,
yes,
doesn't he?
You see him looking at the ship as they
Oh,
goes
right,
away.
okay.
Yes. So I think that there should be a sequel where they meet again and they think, do you remember that guy I was with? Do you remember that guy? Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? Anyway, we both survived. He's at the bottom of the ocean now, so he doesn't matter. So let's go off and have our wedding. That's what the sequel to Titanic should be.
As Good as It Gets, says Marcia, with Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yes.
I don't know that one.
Yes, it is. It is a very interesting movie. It's one of those movies, and let's face it, if there is a movie that has Jack Nicholson in the movie, you can guarantee that there is going to be a lot going on.
What about Blue Lagoon?
Oh.
Alessandra, Blue Lagoon. Is it a love story?
It is. It's about a couple of young teenagers that are shipwrecked, and they let's just say they fall in love, and that's all I'm saying.
That was quite. I mean, it was blue in many ways. That film. It was. Blue Lagoon refers to the. A lagoon, which is a protected sort of area by a coast with water that is coloured blue from the lovely water of wherever it is, somewhere in the ocean, in the middle of the Pacific somewhere, you imagine. But of course, blue also means a lot of explicit content.
Yes, naughty. Something naughty going on.
And of course, there is in that film. That was a very risky film, or risque film.
Well, it was also controversial because I think Koo Stark, the lady, I think she was quite young, and also Christopher Atkins, who was the male, and yes, a very well. In fact, a lot of people don't realise it is in fact a remake of an old movie that was made, I think, in the 1950s of the same title. But yes, one of those movies that certainly, if you are a young teenager, and you watch that movie, it might make you a little bit hot under the collar.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
That was yes. It's a very.
So you might say that there are lots of romantic movies around, lots of movies that you can watch. Falling in love, falling out of love, and then finding a new love. Maybe you are in love, and the person you love moves away or they die. Lots of scenarios.
Of course, Romeo and Juliet's the ultimate sort of, or regarded as the ultimate sort of love story, isn't it?
It is.
And ends in tragedy. A Shakespearean play that's been turned into many films. Gone with the Wind, Saturino. Yes, of course, Gone with the Wind. That is a very famous love story, and an old-fashioned one, of course.
Clark Gable.
Clark Gable. Do watch The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. If anybody watches that, you can tell me next week. But do have a box of tissues nearby, because it will make you cry at the end.
And also, if you watch Blue Lagoon, make sure you have a box of tissues nearby. What? What's wrong?
Moving on, Mr. Duncan, we've got 10 minutes to talk about something else, have we not?
Yes, we have something else to mention. We are going to mention the differences between some words that you might say, to a certain degree, are used in different ways. And the words we are going to look at today are want, need, and have. This should give us something to talk about up until the end of today's live stream. What do you want? What do you need? What do you have? What is greed? Oh, that almost rhymes. It's almost like a poem when you think about it. When we talk about want, Mr. Steve, want is often viewed or seen as desire, something you want. So you might say that want is, well, it is desire. It is an emotional thing. You might also say that want is the urge to get something. So something you want, something that's
not essential, maybe.
Exactly.
I want a new car. I want a bigger house. I want some new clothes. The implication is you've already got that thing, or you've probably already got something that works perfectly well. You've got a car that works, but you want a new one. You don't need to have it. See, there's a big difference there between want and need. If you need something, it's probably essential. You need water to live. You need food to live.
So
you need shelter.
Want. We're talking about want at the moment. The urge to want might be seen as a selfish act. So yes, you're right. That's exactly what Steve just said. So the urge, the feeling of want is often something that maybe you already have, but you still want something. So it is an emotional thing. I think want is definitely an emotional feeling or an expression that you might show if you are in need of something, but that thing is not essential, as Mr. Steve just correctly said.
But in conversation, for example, if you were thirsty, you wouldn't say, "I want a glass of water." That sounds a bit harsh. It sounds a bit too aggressive. You would say, I need a glass of water. I want a glass of water. Children tend to talk like that, don't they? I want some sweets. I want a new toy.
Yes.
When you use the word "I want," it's quite aggressive. It's quite selfish.
Well, it's actually a demand.
It's a demand, yes.
So to want more, you might want more. So you have things already, like Steve said, and you want more of that particular thing. You might say that it is a selfish urge, or maybe even wasteful as well. You want more, or maybe you want better. Something you have, but you want that thing to be better than it is. And of course, in that sense, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So maybe you want a better job. You want a better lifestyle. So those things might not be seen as selfish, because maybe you want a better job so you can support your family and take care of them.
Jimmy puts it very, very well here. Jimmy from Hong Kong. Need is essential. while want is optional. That's a very good way of putting it. Thank you for that.
You might also want what is not yours. So in that sense, you are wanting something that someone else has and you want it. Quite often resulting from the emotion of envy, perhaps. Something you want. Your neighbour has a new car.
You always want something is a phrase you can use for somebody who's a bit demanding. You always want something, don't you? You're never happy. It is a good way to say to somebody who is quite materialistic, maybe.
Yes.
And always wanting something new. And that's very good. Need is essential. Food, water, shelter, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But a want is something that isn't essential.
So now we have need. To need is seen as something required, quite often for survival. So again, yes, exactly. Steve mentioned water a few moments ago. You need water to survive. You need to have that particular thing. It is something you require. It is something that is essential. Need might be described as an instinct for survival. So you would imagine maybe when man or mankind or humankind, as we say nowadays, was roaming around, we would have to do things because we needed to. You needed to eat. You needed to drink. You had to do those things. You had to get those things to survive. So often we look at the word need as an instinct to survive. Something that serves an important function or action is needed. And this is interesting, Steve. I like this one because something you need might relate to a particular thing in your life.
Say that again, Mr. Duncan. I was just reading the live chat.
Something that serves an important function or action is needed.
Yes.
So I think that's quite interesting in the fact that a thing that is needed might relate to a certain aspect of a person's life.
Yes. We need to make sure that our customers have clean cutlery in the restaurant. It's a strange example. We need to make sure that the tables are clean in the restaurant, because the implication being, if they're not, somebody might get an infection, might get a stomach infection, or they might think the restaurant is bad. So need can be used in lots of ways. I just wanted to mention as well, where are we? I did see something. Go on, Mr. Duncan, while I find something on here that I was going to read out.
Something you need to carry out a certain task or a certain function or a certain thing. So I need a computer. I can't do my live stream. So I don't want a computer. I need.
You need it. You've got to have it.
Yes.
For the live stream. And Giovanni put it, that's what I was going to. I want to learn English and use it like my second language. Yes, you want to learn English. You don't have to learn English. It's not essential that you learn English. It's a want.
However, if you want to get a good job, or maybe you want to have a job overseas, you need to learn English.
There we go. Yeah. So if you're going to have a job where you need to speak English, then you will need to learn English.
Yes.
Whereas Giovanni doesn't need to learn it, but he wants to learn it.
So
and of course, in the current society, this is the thing. There are a lot more wants these days. Most people's needs in society now are satisfied. In the modern world, our main needs are all satisfied. Most of us have got plenty of food, electricity, water, shelter, somewhere to live. Most people these days, it's the wants in a materialistic society. which is fine. We won't go into that, but
Something that serves an important function or action is needed, just like needing English if you want to get a certain type of job. Things we generally need. And this is what we just mentioned: food, water, warmth, companionship. Oh, so you might need to have a person to be close to you, or
Yes.
some sort of relationship.
human
and of
beings
course,
need to socialise. It's a natural part of our makeup as human beings.
and love.
And love, yes. Well, love probably, yeah,
Hmm.
that's sort of an option, because I think that's more sort of optional, isn't it?
Is it?
But certainly companionship.
Hmm.
Yeah, love's an interesting one. Is love a want or a need?
Hmm. It
Interesting.
might be. Yes, it might be a bit of both. So that's an interesting one.
Yes.
Sometimes want and need can be the same when we feel that it is vital. So the importance of something, you might actually stress that particular desire as want or need. So there are certain situations where that might happen. To have, and this is the one, to have, Mr. Steve. So if you have, what do you do?
If you have something, you possess it. I have a car. I have a job. It belongs to you. Is that right, Mr. Duncan? You possess that thing. We're not saying whether it's a want or a need. A have is something that you own. You have. I have an iPad. I have a pen. I have an empty glass of water. It's something that belongs to you. Well, not necessarily, but it's something that you've got in your life. I have a girlfriend. I have a boyfriend. Have I explained that well, Mr. Duncan?
To have is I was just choking, you see, that's why. I had a...
Ivan says I'm muted.
No. Are you?
Ivan says I am.
No?
Oh, right, okay. Do you mean I'm not very loud? Oh, probably Ivan meant you were muted. Mr. Duncan's having a bit of a...
No, it's okay, Steve. You don't have
stuck
to...
in his throat. Yes.
Don't announce it. Okay, anyway, we will be going in a moment. To have is generally seen as owning or possessing something. That is almost it. Oh my goodness, it's already 1 minute past 4 o'clock. Amazing.
Well, we've had a nice time here today.
Up until the moment where I was choking.
But now I need to go to the toilet.
Oh.
Because I've drunk all that water. And if I don't, there's going to be a wet patch on this seat. So I don't want to go to the toilet. I need to go because it's getting a bit of an emergency.
Yes. Well, we often refer to bodily functions as need. So you need air to survive. You need to breathe. You need to eat. And if you drink too much water, like Mr. Steve, you might need to go wee-wee. Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Have a lovely week, everybody, and I shall see you on next Sunday. Yes, I will be here. And I'll see what state I'm in after a week back at work, after 2.5 weeks off.
Mr. Steve is going back to work.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Steve. And there he goes. Steve will be back with us next Sunday. There is no reason why. I see no reason why Mr. Steve won't be here next Sunday. And of course, I am back with you on Wednesday. Oh my goodness. You don't just get me once a week. You get me Twice a week. Isn't that incredible? So I will see you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. I'm back with you. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Lots of things, lots of subjects, and lots of lovely English words as well. If you want to watch this again, you can. You can watch it all over again. And later on, there will be captions as well. I hope. We will see what happens. We will see how fast YouTube is able to sort the captions out. But they will be available at some point in the future. I'm pretty sure of it. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. I will be back with you next Sunday and, as I said, on Wednesday as well. Look out for my new English lessons. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, get the notifications. Your little bell will ring every time I put a new lesson on. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of the English language saying thank you for your company over the past 2 hours. I will see you later, and of course I will leave you with the wonderful winter view out of the window. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I will see you soon. And, as I always say, ta-ta for now.